If you're interested in taking these ideas as far as possible, presenting the most aesthetic version of yourself, I'm launching a coaching program where I work with individuals one-on-one. I'll evaluate your whole presentation, lock in on a sort of archetype that makes sense for you, and help you get to the 10 out of 10 version of yourself presentationally. I have found that maximizing your looks has an enormous return on your life, and so if this is an area of your life that you're ready to take seriously, check out the link in the description below. In this video, I'm going to be talking about why fat people are fat. I mean, all right, I shouldn't have laughed. But the reason why I want to make this video is just to bring awareness to people who are fat and who are trying to change. And the thing is, if I say you're fat and you get offended, then that should probably tell you something. Usually when somebody tells you the truth, it kind of hurts a little bit. If you're getting a little triggered by the word fat or whatever, then deal with it and change. The first thing that I want to get into is genetics. Even though it's not fucking genetics as to why you're fat, it's actually your eating habits and your environment and the things that you're conditioned to think. It's way more deeper than genetics. And I'm sick and tired of you motherfuckers saying it's genetics. You let this word genetics just take over every aspect of your life, and it doesn't just stop with your body. It stops with your work ethic. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't even think I can work or be a fucking business partner with somebody who's fucking fat. Because if that motherfucker doesn't care about how he looks, to that point, what makes you think that he's gonna care about what the fuck we got going on, or even me, or what kind of project that we're working on? If that motherfucker treats his own body like that, what do you think he's gonna do with you? When it comes to that, man, it's your mindset, and I'm going to be talking more into that, but right now I wanna talk about that it's not genetics, it's what you're conditioned to, or not even conditioned, I should use the word train. And here it is, man. The reason why a lot of guys get upset that they have girls, it's not just because we know it's gonna be way harder to raise a girl, and girls come with hella drama, and then you gotta deal with her possibly being a hoe. You already know what might happen if you have a girl. You gotta worry about a lot more shit when you have a girl. But when you have a son, hype, bro, he gonna play basketball, blah, blah, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. We could train together, we go to the gym. You got yourself a little buddy. But really what you're doing is you're turning him into a mini you. When it comes to your family, what happens is, man, is that they're the ones that feed you. It's funny, actually. It's actually something my mom taught me about girls. She said, if you ever want to know if a girl is going to be fat, look at her mom, because that's the hand that feeds her. Yeah, my mom's, she put me on game when I was younger. She told me a lot of things. But when it comes to that, man, your family are the ones that are pretty much to blame when it comes to your eating habits. And when I was younger too, guess what my mom did? She forced me to play sports. I was just like, no, I don't want to. She still forced me. And I grew up and I appreciated that she did that even more now, just because I'm more aware of the people around me and their activity level and their mindset. And it all came down to what I was conditioned and trained as a child and how it's helped me into adulthood. She set the foundations and I built on top of that. The thing is, you look at your family members and you look around you, and if you're big and if everybody else around you is big, you don't see anything wrong with that. But until you actually start to hear the outside feedback, until you start to realize how shit quality your life is compared to somebody who has a fitter body. Not only that, but if you're somebody who is blessed or even cursed with some sort of self-awareness, then you're gonna feel like shit about yourself when you see yourself. You're around everybody and everybody's like, oh no, it's okay, but why don't you feel okay? Why don't you feel okay inside? And the thing is, you are the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. And the reason why I'm saying this is that if you surround yourself with fatter friends, you guys are going to go out to eat and do all that, and you're gonna eat what they eat. But the thing is, even if you were to make friends with somebody a skinnier build, or if you surround yourself with people who are just even naturally skinny. Now, I'm not talking about unnaturally skinny where you are consciously doing it, but just people who just are just skinny and just
quote unquote eat whatever they want, even though they don't eat whatever they want. You might see these like skinnier, thinner people like pig out like once or twice a week, but I promise you, like throughout the fucking week, like these people are not eating that much. It's only certain times that like thinner people, like, I guess, indulge or go all out or eat whatever they want. And once you start to understand nutrition and track your calories and stuff, you could even plan these sort of, we call them cheat days. You could plan these cheat days out that you could still even lose weight and still have those days that you pig out like fucking a whole box of pizza and like 3 burgers in a day. That's not gonna make you fat. It's doing that shit over time, every day, consistently, is going to make you fat. Whatever you're doing consistently, like, your body's gonna respond to. If you learn to make friends with thinner people and just become more aware of their eating habits, and I'm not talking about like just for one day. If you see how these people eat just for a week or two, every single day, you're going to start being like, oh, what the fuck? This person barely fucking eats compared to you. Like, you're like, whoa, this person barely eats. And that's the thing when it comes to being bigger, is that a lot of your habits need to be uprooted. And when I say uprooted, like, I'm talking it needs to be aggressively questioned as to why you're eating that much. But the next thing I want to talk about is because of your taste. You're not repulsed by yourself. Like I said, when you look in that mirror, when you feel like shit, listen to yourself. Listen to that inner judge, all right? If you make that, just imagine if you make this inner judge, that person that doesn't like what it sees in the mirror, if you can make that motherfucker like what it sees in the mirror, you've done a good job. You fucking won. I can learn a lot about where somebody's at or why their body looks like that by what they're attracted to. So like me, for example, I might be more on the extreme side of things when it comes to lean, right? So my idea of what an attractive body looks like or a healthy body looks like might look borderline unhealthy or unattainable, or it might even look like somebody's taking some sort of steroids or drugs in order to achieve that body. But for me, my standards are a little bit different. Doesn't mean it's higher or lower. I'm not trying to say better than somebody. But when it comes to like fatter people, a thing that I like to do, and this is a little fucked up. It's a little fucked up, all right. But when I'm with a girl, and a lot of times we'll like talk about like their body and stuff and how they want to improve or whatever. And I don't bring it up. I don't say, hey, you need to change. All right, don't look at me like that. A lot of times girls are like, oh, I want to get like fitter. I want to have abs. I want to do this. I want to get my body looking right, blah, blah, blah. This is going to sound a little fucked up, but this is what I do. I say, oh, well, send me your body inspo. Like who do you want to look like? When they send me that body inspo and it's some thick bitch that's like, I'm just like, yo, this bitch is fat. Like to me, I'm like, yo, this bitch is fat. Like some of you guys might look at me a little funny on like who I call fat, who I call fat or whatever. Oh, bro, like she thick. She far from thick. Like for me, like she far from thick. She ain't no damn thick. All right. So the thing is like, nah, bro, like that bitch is fat. With me, right? I can tell, all right, this girl thinks this looks good. And that's just on some Instagram shit. Like maybe the inspos come from Instagram or whatever. And I'm like, all right, she thinks that this girl looks good. That's her ideal. That's her ideal body. That's her dream body. She doesn't want to look different than that. Like she thinks that's attractive. If a bitch sends me another bitch that is like thick, in my words, fat, if she's fucking fat, or like just a little thick, I get it. I get the thick versus fat. You motherfuckers don't think fat is fat until it's like on my 600-pound life. But for me, I'm like, my bitch shouldn't be more than 130 pounds. I don't give a fuck. Whatever. That's cool, whatever. But for me, dog, being above that, I'm like, yeah, you thick, but like, I ain't gonna deal with this shit for long. That's just and you can even do it with your male friends too, right? Just to be like, yo, like what kind of body do you want to like look like? and they're gonna pick like somebody who's not really shredded. They're not gonna pick somebody who's shredded. They're definitely gonna pick somebody who's like maybe a little bit lean, but they're not gonna pick somebody who's like super shredded. And the thing is, us as humans, even if we fall short of like what we want to achieve, we'll get pretty damn close to it. And the reason why I know this is because as an artist, the better your taste and inspiration is, the better your work gets. It's a gap between your inspiration and your actual work. If your taste and inspiration keeps on getting better and increasing, will your work. But there's always a gap. Like you somehow catch that inspiration, you catch what you're trying to achieve. If you love what you're doing, it's going to keep on going up, and like your inspiration is going to keep on getting better, and it's just going to keep on making you trying to reach for better. You're always trying to reach for something. What I'm telling you is that somebody's inspiration has a lot of effect of how they look right now. If you're somebody who's fat, you need to get better body inspiration. Next thing I want to talk about as to why you're fat is because you think that lower calorie options don't taste as good. You'll realize with some of these foods, these lighter tasting options, I get it. Some of them don't taste as good as the real thing. But let me tell you something when it comes to fat loss, when it comes to losing just weight, fat. For this fucking video, we'll just say weight loss. But you guys know I'm talking about fat loss preferably, not just weight loss. When it comes to weight loss and choosing these options, you obviously want to go for the lower calorie option. Now, what's going to happen is that when you find these lower calorie options and they don't taste as good, you might deal with it for about a week or two, but what's going to happen is cravings are going to start coming in your head, and you're going to say, oh man, I want the real pizza. I want the real ranch. I want the real burger. And the thing is, it's because you can't make it taste better than what you're craving. The thing, and I keep on telling you motherfuckers, like, learn how to fucking cook, because when you learn how to cook, you can make better food, obviously, and you can make things that taste better than your favorite items, because you can look for lower calorie options and you can make recreations of them. Because if you have something that tastes like 80% there, you're still gonna miss that small 20% that's gonna like give you those cravings like, nah, but I still, like, it's like you still feel the need to cheat on the diet. But if you can make something taste exactly like it or even better, if you can make it taste better, but it still be lower calorie, then you fucking won. You fucking won. And the thing is, a lot of these lower calorie options, they do have a funny taste to them. I'm not here to lie to you. I'm not here to do that. But a lot of them taste exactly the same or even better. And the reason why I'm saying this, shut the fuck up, because you're like, oh no, this taste is funny. Can't never tell me. There's different fucking brands that you got to try. There's different brands. This is going to sound weird. I already know, because a lot of you motherfuckers, y'all not on to this type of shit, all right? But honey, all right? I bought some fucking honey-free honey and like this like sugar-free, like low-calorie honey. And the first time I tried it, I was like, tastes a little funny, but maybe I could deal with it. It doesn't really taste like honey, but maybe I could make something out of it. Started trying it. I was like, about a week or two into it, I was like, man, I'm about to put some real honey on here. That's what happens with every low calorie option that you don't like, man. Like you're just like, maybe I could deal with it. It's lower calorie, it's the better option. I'm trying to tell you, you're gonna get sick of it. At some point, like you're gonna get sick of it. Like you're not gonna tolerate it anymore, and you're going to try to find the real food. You're gonna try to find the real item. Like, catch yourself the next time like you say that. Like, oh, I want real pizza. I want real fill in the blank. It's because you haven't found an option that's good enough for it. I ended up actually finding like a good honey-free alternative that I'm just like, I don't even know why I even crave the real honey anymore. And it's gonna be the same thing with any item, like with bread. I'm like, why would I ever eat regular bread versus the lower calorie bread? But it does come with the certain brand though. I'm not gonna say the brand because them niggas gotta pay me if they want they want this shit in the fucking YouTube video. I gotta get my money, I. But yeah, man, when it comes to that, You have to find food that you actually like, but it's still a lower calorie option that's gonna help you reach your weight loss goal. Next thing that fat people do is they only go to the gym when they feel motivated. They get motivated for like 1 to 3 months, maybe 3 months max. And guess what? They go back to doing what they did before. They just go back to who they are. It's like with girls. How she acted before she met you is how she's gonna act after y'all break up. It's the same thing with these fat people. It's just that they'll get motivated for a little bit. Maybe something changed. Maybe something really did motivate them. Maybe they're like, I seen this girl, I really wanna blah, 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 blah. Or like, ah, fuck this bitch, she broke up with me, I'ma show her, blah, blah, blah. It's consistency over intensity. You have to learn what it is that you're going to stick with for a lifetime. This thing is not just for 1 to 3 months. This is a life change. Like, you have to change your entire personality. Like, everything, every choice that you make has to be changed. The habits that you have around eating, what time you eat, where do you eat, what do you eat, your mindset when it comes to food. Like, you like, sometimes you got to think like, if I keep on eating like that person, I'm going to be fat just like them. Like, you kind of start thinking fucked up like that. But it's just like, if I keep on listening to this person, I want to end up just like them. And the reason why they go back to who they are, and I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence, but I kind of am trying to insult your intelligence a little bit. But how you can tell how intelligent somebody is you see how fast they learn. And from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, life doesn't lecture you, it pushes you around until you figure it out. And an Albert Einstein quote, the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. You are where you are because of past thoughts and actions. Once you start figuring out those self-sabotaging thoughts that are keeping you fat, change is always going to be hard for you. And not only that, but change is hard for the average person, even somebody who's not fat. If you haven't fucking figured this shit out yet, it's not about just being fucking fat. It's about anything in life. And that's why when you are on this weight loss thing, it's really a self-discovery and learning who you are and how you work as a person. And not only that, but it shows you how to think. See, this kind of shit, man, I can fucking apply it to fucking business, to money. I could apply it to a plethora of aspects in my life because fitness was a catalyst for me when it comes to just changing my life for the better. And another big catalyst for me when it comes to change is pain. Y'all don't realize that the reason why some of y'all aren't changing is because it doesn't hurt you enough. You won't change. You won't change that girl fucking dumps you, breaks your heart, or rejects you, or you get made fun of so many times and you go like to bed and you're talking shit to even yourself. Some people, not only this, but like most people won't change unless they're hurt enough. And that's like the sad part about it. Again, with the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, life will not lecture you. It will push you around until you figure it out. The last thing I want to talk about is that fat people have big egos. They think they know everything. There's nothing wrong with them. There's something wrong with your ass. Nothing wrong with them. And the thing is, you will never find one way that works. You won't. Stop looking for like a silver bullet. There are, shouts out to Alex Hormozy, because I was listening to him. There's not a silver bullet. There's 100 golden BBs. Stop thinking of a silver bullet. There's not just one thing that's going to just end it all and you win. There's many small little things that you have to do. It's that one silver bullet versus like 100 golden BBs. It's gonna take a lot. Like, it's gonna take a lot of little things in order to, I just fucking spit. There's gonna take a lot of fucking things in order to make this big change. You're gonna think a lot of these things are very unnecessary, and you're gonna just, like, some days you're gonna fucking wake up and you're gonna just work hella hard, and then nothing's gonna change. You can work hella hard for like 1-2 weeks, nothing's gonna change. You have to be very open to a lot of new ways of thinking, and you have to give a lot of things time. You gotta give a lot of things time. You got to think to yourself, how long have you been this weight? If it's been like 10 years, stop expecting for the weight to come off in 3 months. It's the law of equivalent exchange. I mean, like, you can't be thinking that, right? It's only fair, right? And I know how difficult weight loss can be. I know how difficult it is to get set on the right path. And that's why I am doing one-on-one coaching consultations. And you can click the link down in the description below, and we could do a free 30-minute consultation and see if you're a right fit for the program. And if you are, we get started. And the program lasts for about 3 months. And my goal is to make you the best version. So when it comes to learning about these new things, what happens is that you learn about something, you don't like it, but you may like a little something about it, right? For example, I don't do HIIT cardio. I don't do any more long distance running when it comes to fat loss because I've learned that the juice just isn't worth the squeeze. I don't enjoy those activities like mentally. They're good every now and then, but it's not something for me to do like every day. All right, I don't enjoy those activities enough. But what I do enjoy a lot is going on hikes and walking. That's my form of cardio. And even though they're not as intense and they don't make you feel like you're going to fucking war, like HIIT cardio, it still is very effective when it comes to fat loss. And I can just like sit there and watch a fucking YouTube video. It's effective. Early on in my fat loss like journey, I was running like 3 to 5 miles every day because I thought, oh, the more I run, the more weight I'll lose. And that's far from the truth. And then I got put on to HIIT cardio, and I was just like, oh, I don't have to run 3 to 5 miles. I could just fucking sprint for 10 minutes and I'd be good. And that worked, but it wasn't sustainable. It didn't match with my personality. It didn't match with my body. And you'll find out more about yourself when you just try things like that. Even if you think that you're not going to like it. The thing is, if I ever want to get faster at my sprints, I already know what to do. If I ever want to run a 5K, I already know what to do. Nothing that you do is in vain. Like no labor is in vain. 1 Corinthians, no labor is in vain. All these things that you're learning on your journey, you eat the meat and spit out the bones. It's all part of the journey. You're a combination of things that you like, even the jokes that you say, you hear them in passing, but they become a part of your personality. It's the same thing when it comes to fitness, is that you're going to scroll and learn and read articles and watch videos, but you'll eat the meat and spit out the bones. You'll learn what works for your body, what doesn't work for your body. What works for them, works for them. What works for you, works for you. And whether you're sedentary or an active person, everybody has a unique definition of what it means to be fit and healthy. But at the core of it is that you want to have an aesthetic and a healthy body that you look good and you feel good in. That's the end of the video. I just want to make that video just to motivate some people, and for those people who are heavier set, just to give them a little bit of motivation and give them a little bit more perspective. I did not want to sugarcoat shit. I'm not gonna do that. All right, no, I'm gonna tell you, if you want that dream body, get up off your ass and go do something about it. All right, see you on the next video. Peace.